world exploding with appeals for everybody's attention, and everyone's attention span is this long. How are you going to break through? You got a message, you're trying to get through social media, you got a creative project, you got a business plan. How do you break through? And one of the most effective ways I found out over many years of breaking through in different kinds of areas and arenas is by defying expectations. Now, it might sound easy just to defy expectation. Oh, so you're going to zig when everyone else is zagging, but you have to do two things. First, to defy expectations, first you have to know what the expectations are. That's a whole level there. When you walk into a business meeting, what are the expectations? When you make a presentation in front of your class, what are the expectations? So you need to know them to defy them intelligently, not just randomly. Or you're going to have a belly flop is what you're going to have. And here's the second part. You need to defy expectations in a way that's on brand for you. It has to work for you. You can't just walk into the business meeting with chocolate pudding smeared all over your face. Or at some point during your class presentation, take a glass out and smash it on the floor. Hey, you defied expectations, but now everyone thinks you're an idiot. So you have to defy expectations in a way that works for you. And again, you got to figure out all these tips I'm sharing with you. You need, there's a mechanical side, there's a scientific and psychological side, but there has to be a creative component, something authentic from you brought to all these. Years ago, I went into an audition. It was an audition to be on a comedy show, and there were a whole bunch of stand-up comics, comedians auditioning for this production company. And so I go in and I audition and get people to laugh, and people are enjoying it. I leave and I think to myself, they're not going to remember me in 5 minutes. What am I going to do? I have to defy expectations. So what I decided to do, and I decided right there and then, is I took off and I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to send the producer a bribe. Now, already it's like, okay, that sounds like it's going to be off-putting. What do you mean, what kind of bribe? So it had to be a bribe that was funny. Had to be a bribe that was on brand to me, that made sense. Had to be a bribe that made sure the producer, when he received it, didn't think, I'm actually trying to bribe him. It had to work on a few different levels. And what I did was I got a really cheap attaché case from a dollar store, pretty much, okay? Filled it with about $75 of loose Smarties. Now, if you don't know what Smarties are, they're like M&Ms, the non-peanut M&Ms. Loose Smarties in there. Wrapped the whole thing up in a very suspicious-looking brown paper and marked on the outside, bribe, in really big letters. Had it delivered to the guy at his production company. 2 days, and the only thing I put in there to make sure he knew who it was from was my business card in with all loose Smarties. 2 days later, I got a call, and I got the part on the show. And then weeks later, when I was actually shooting the show and on set and all that stuff, I even had people, rumor had swirled around, I even had people from the production end, key grips, people who saying, coming up and saying, you're the Smarties guy, right? So it created this kind of mythology, and I'm sharing with this you not as some sort of ego or some sort of creative breakthrough, but just an example of something that was on brand, that defied expectations, and that broke through and allowed me to definitely connect with and influence people. So what do you think? If today's video resonated with you in some way, please leave a comment down below.